Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I am Mick Alphanim. Hope everybody's doing well out there. So we're going to jump right into some XRP news here. Everything's going great for us. We're winning in every possible way. How does it feel to be possibly, if everything goes according to plan, and this is not financial advice, but how does it feel to be so wealthy? I'm so wealthy, so wealthy. Well, how does the rest of that song go? I don't know. But anyway, we're going to jump into a little XRP news here. This is from CoinGate.com, and the title is as such. Ripple seeks to serve 2 key subpoenas against the SEC. Will this be a game changer? Yes, it can be. We won't say it will be. It can be. We are looking for concrete evidence of the SEC's corruption and hypocrisy. That's what Ripple's lawyers are looking for. We've been, and you know what's more insane is that the SEC, because of its arrogance over the years, has exposed itself. They left so much evidence out there that even, listen, the judge knows. This is why the judge has had certain reactions to the SEC and called them out on their hypocrisy, their dichotomy, their nonsense. So all we need to do now is gather a few more key pieces of evidence, and I think that we can close this case out. We're already dominating in every possible way, but just let's read this little tidbit here. It says Ripple sought consent from video platform. According to James Fallon, Ripple and other defendants have asked the court to serve non-party subpoenas in order to obtain copies of seven video recordings. Oh, that is a lot to work with. Oh, and we're going to do a great job, by the way. I know we are. This move is taken to authenticate the court's July 19, 2022 order. However, the letter mentions that the commission has not consented to this request. Of course they haven't. Oh my goodness. They delay, just tying us up. You can't, listen, the inevitable is going to occur. As is stated by the word inevitability, right? And seeks to reopen discovery. So what they're doing here is they're going, being very petty, saying, hey, we're not going to consent to that if you don't consent to reopening discovery, which obviously would drag everything out a little bit longer. They are hoping to drain Ripple's pockets. That's not going to happen because our backing is too strong. And that's what they never accounted for. Our backing being, Ripple's backers being too strong, XRP's backers being too strong, and that includes the XRP army. Don't worry, we're going to get into that a little bit later because we have a new opponent to go against. These people keep popping out of the woodworks thinking they're going to take us down. You're not going to take us down. That's not going to happen. No, we're going to fight. At least I know Alphanim. I'm going to fight to the death. I'm not going to lose to you. That's not going to happen. So we have a new opponent on the horizon. We'll get to that a little bit later. Let's read this just a little bit more. It says, the order states that the parties met and conferred on July 27, 2022, and agreed to seek to authenticate the remarks once the defendants issued them downloaded copies. It added that these recordings are hosted by 2 platforms and hold terms of service. This is the main reason restricting the defendants from getting these videos. Okay, so listen, go over to CoinGate.com. If you want to read the rest of this article, it's very, very good. So the SEC is using more stalling tactics. Obviously, they have nothing else. And now this is going to be important when it comes to those other coins that they listed as securities, and they will be suing or are suing, or wherever they are in that process, because I'm not sure that those entities have enough money to battle the SEC. Remember, Ripple is saying that they've gone hundreds of millions of dollars, into battling the SEC. Not a lot of companies have money like that. And so there is a finance coin, one of my finance coins they are going after, which is AMP, which is utilized by Flexa, is used for collateralized payments. I'm hoping Flexa has a good AMP has a good backing. Hopefully they have deep pockets. We'll see how that plays out. So the SEC will use, what I'm saying is that delay tactic, just to battle you until your money runs out. Then you have to fold because you can't fight anymore. You have no more lawyer money, right? Or you want to keep your business afloat. You don't want to go out of business fighting the SEC. Then what was the point of fighting the battle in the first place? This is their technique. That's not going to work on us. No. Thank goodness we have so many banks backing us, big money, large financial institutions backing us, and it's only going to grow. Let's move on to another article right here. By the way, let's just get this out of the way because I know a lot of you have been asking, And this is so important. I mean, this is like life-changing, important thing, a life-changing, important thing I'm about to say here. Top 3 foods right now. Right now. wait, what? Alphanim. Top 3 foods right now. That this is not food advice. First of all, if you haven't had some Jamaican beef patties, listen, and they have a version for everybody. The beef patties are pretty good. That's what I grew up eating beef patties. Also, the chicken patties are pretty good. Then you have, look, now we're going to get complicated. Don't worry, we're going to jump in the next article. Let me get this out. Now it's getting a little complicated because I know some of you are vegetarians, vegans out there. They have a veggie patty, which is mixed vegetables. So there's like carrots and cabbage and stuff like that. Callaloo maybe in there. So you have that offering, but you also have, now these are the best ones. You have spinach patties and, oh, my absolute favorite, pumpkin patties. That's rare. Pumpkin patties are the best. So Jamaican beef patties will be, or Jamaican patties will be on my list. Number 2 food, General Tso's chicken or General Tso's tofu. Either one is so good. Now, should I throw in a classic? I should throw in a classic probably. I want to go with pizza. I'm thinking I'm going to go with pizza, right? Now, listen, I love regular Italian style pizza. I love New York style pizza, but I'm going to be realistic with you. This is going to be controversial. Domino's. Domino's makes a good pizza. When they put the garlic on the crust. Anyway, these guys are unprofessional. They're here talking to me about food. We're supposed to be talking about crypto. It's distracting me. Anyway, so let's get on to this next article here. This is from U.Today, and it's titled, Ripple versus SEC Attorney Jeremy Hogan accuses SEC of not authenticating its own employee speeches, which is true. They have no idea whether something was made in an official capacity or not. They don't want to provide clarity. At this point, what does the SEC provide clarity on? Why do they even exist? Give all of crypto to the CFTCC. We are commodities, right? As everyone around the world has said, we're commodities. Then you have the SEC, the only one saying that, no, they're securities. This is nonsense. Even you have other regulatory entities within the United States saying that crypto, the bank coins, are commodities. No, the SEC says that they're securities. Come on, let's stop the nonsense and the ignorance and let's move forward. This is one of the reasons why the West as a whole is suffering so greatly, because there's so much arrogance and ignorance because of corruption. Corruption breeds madness, right? That is one of the reasons why the West is suffering so bad. And yes, the West is suffering and the West is losing right now. It's ridiculous. And they are bringing harm to those who can build, those who are building for themselves, those who are already established. So they're hurting people at the top and at the bottom. And there's going to be a great backlash for that. I mark my words. I guarantee you. Now, let's read this little tidbit here. And it goes as such. It says, litigation does not distract Ripple from its goals. It definitely doesn't. We've been building all around the world. We are a global institution, but make no mistake about it. We want that United States money. Listen, we're going to be working, I'm pretty sure, so my humble opinion, but look at the data, look at the facts. We're on the Faster Payments Council. We're going to be working with the federal government. We're going to be moving huge amounts of money. And that's going to make a lot of people wealthy, right? So that's one of the reasons why we're still in the fight. So that there is no, there's no blockades when it comes to working with not just the federal government, but states. You already see Algorand and what they're doing with the states. You see that Stellar is beloved by the states. We're going to be working with the entirety of the governmental system of the United States. But we have one rogue representative. I'll say representative because they're not the only rogue actor. We have one rogue representative in the SEC going against us. We just have to defeat them. That's it. All right. So, but let's, there was a little piece here I wanted to read. Let's scroll up here. Okay, so here, let's read this little tidbit here. It says, Ripple filed a request to authenticate the speech recordings of SEC employees, including former Commissioner Robert Jackson. But the commission neither acknowledged nor denied the authenticity of the submitted videos. Who is there anybody that doesn't see the corruption of the SEC at this particular time? I can't wait to defeat them. Oh, man. And listen, after we win this case, the growth is going to be exponential. That's when we're going to want to start really readjusting our calculations. Once we win this case, mark my words, you heard what SBI Africa said, that there's a lot of financial institutions on the side that want to use XRP. Okay, so then that indicates what, or implicates what? That means that there's going to be a lot of announcements coming out after we win the case. That's important because a lot of new names are going to be given to us. What can we do with those new names? When we are issued those new names, now we have to start looking at quarterlies and annuals and start adding those types of calculations, those types of numbers into our calculations so we can get an idea as individuals of what price you may want to sell or what price sell your XRP. And some of you don't want to sell it, but at what is the height of the height of where the price can go for XRP. Now, I believe I did put this post out. I put a post out in the community tab in the members only section where they had a bevy of equations. I'm just going to say it like that. Hit that little join button down below. There's a document. There's a bevy of equations. Now, we are working with CBDCs of all different kinds, wholesale, retail, synthetic, hybrid. We're working with CBDCs of all kinds, intrabank payments with those equations. All right. And I know all of you fantastic at mathematics. I know. I've communicated with a large amount of you. So you can take those equations, input those numbers, some of those numbers, and get an idea on that beautiful price. And let me tell you, even if you're using your own equations, the price of where XRP can go, XRP, Quant, XLM, and Hedera, and Algorand can go, and all the other bank coins, Cello as well, but you know, I'm trying to keep it brief. Where they can go when you actually put the numbers that we've been getting from PDFs and transcripts, where it can go when you do that, it's so beautiful. It's ridiculous, all right? So I'll let you do that on your own. You come up with your own numbers, okay? You're in charge of your own fate. All right, so now let's go here. Ripple, as of late, has been reiterating things that it has been saying and building on those ideas to emphasize to the people what the significance of certain moves that they're making are. Now, a lot of people, they see this news or these document releases by Ripple, these statements, they hear these statements and they just don't take it. They don't take it as serious as they should. So I think Ripple tries to reiterate, to convey the weight, or the gravitas rather, of what they're doing, to show you every single thing that we're doing is major. That's what they're trying to show. Now, they have this article they just tweeted, and it once again is about the land that will be flowing across the XRPL in Colombia. And I was telling you, this is major. Now, there's something they said in here that is huge. This is why I love Ripple, XRP, Algorand, and now XDC. Stellar also, but as a recent, XDC, Algorand, and Ripple have stepped to the forefront of working with governments and ingraining themselves within governments. Governments are the key to almost everything. All right, now let's scroll down here and read this little tidbit. This is from decrypt.co and was retweeted by Ripple. And it says, Colombia's government has launched a partnership with Ripple Labs. Colombia's government, like, we're going to take so much money. The company behind the cryptocurrency XRP to put land titles on the blockchain. Land. This is only going to expand and grow. Listen, there's going to be rapid development in Central and Latin America. More people are going to be moving land, tokenizing everything that has to do with land. That's a lot of money. You just look it up for yourself. And Colombia is experiencing rapid growth. Listen, I know personally a lot of people going to Colombia doing certain things, going to Mexico doing certain things. I mean, listen, people are expanding, especially now that the West is doing pretty bad. But let's continue on here. It says, to put land titles on the blockchain, part of a plan to rectify land distribution efforts so unfair they led to decades of armed conflict. The project, built by blockchain development company Persist Technology and Ripple, will permanently store and authenticate property titles on XRPL, Ripple's public blockchain. Now, they're working with the government. Do you think that that's where they're going to stop? I also keep in mind that Algorand is also in Colombia. Via Koi banks. All right. We're going to get some updates from Koi banks very soon. Tomorrow's video will be much more diverse with a bevy of crypto involved. All right. But we have so much XRP news. I just wanted to get through this today. We're going to dominate there in every possible way. But if they're working with the government, we can already see where this is going to go. Payroll will be flowing across the XRPL from Colombia. I'm pretty sure. Just look at Mexico. Look at what Ripple's doing in Mexico. Payroll is going to be flowing across XRPL from Mexico. Land is going to be put there. We're doing the digital wallets there. So if Mexico is going to be moving digital currencies, that's going to go across the XRPL. No matter what digital currency they go with, what CBDC they go with, that's going to be moving across the XRPL. Unless there's a change, and if there's a change, we will adjust our thinking and our statements accordingly, of course. This is huge. This is major. It says, why would Colombia's government want to do this? Because land ownership in the South American country is among the most highly concentrated in the world. Colombia's civil war, okay, let's skip past that part here. It says land is everything in Colombia. Persist Technology CEO Ferran Prat told Decrypt. This is what led to armed groups. All right, we're gonna cut some of that out because you don't want to say certain things on YouTube. Maybe it's just me. YouTube is brutal with me, so we're gonna play nice so I don't get into trouble. It says the point is that land is important in Colombia. So a system is needed that ensures land cannot be wrongfully taken. Also, you're going to be able to monetize that land in more ways than one. Then also there's going to be traceability used there. Now, I would go out on a limb and say they're probably going to use Algorand for traceability and then use XRP for this, in my humble opinion. However, you can also, manipulate XRP and use that as a traceability protocol as well. But you have a lot of great traceability protocols out there. So we'll wait to see what's going to happen with that. But either way, there's going to be a lot of money moving through these bank coins because of that. They're not only just going to want the titles and things of that nature floating across the blockchain. They're going to want to know everything that's on that land. Okay, are there businesses on that land? Is this farmland? Are there cows on it? What is going on? Everything is going to be tokenized. Everything has a value attached to it. That's just the way the world works right now. It says many landowners in Colombia still don't have papers to certify ownership over parcels they inhabit. Ripple Labs added, the project will start by certifying more than 100,000 land adjudications. So they're starting off in a major capacity. Let's move on to another article, just very briefly here, okay, as we're getting towards the end of the video. Also, another thing I want to say, listen, a few years ago, this is another random thing for you. A few years ago, I saw that new Robocop. The old Robocop is better. The old Robocop is better. I mean, everything that the main actor did in that Robocop was perfect. The way he was just stone-faced and just ice cold. He was trying to figure things out. He was sort of seemed indestructible, but there was like a vulnerability, that giant gun that came out the side of his leg. Everything was awesome. The old Robocop is better. Let's move on here. You guys talking about Robocop. Like, what? Now, we have a new opponent going against us. There's always a person popping out trying to. Now, this is not the first time that this individual has tried to go against crypto, but I'm not understanding how the people that this individual represents allow this. When the people, listen, people with money do very well with crypto and the stock market. But people from the bottom are the ones that really were benefiting from crypto, as I said. And you read articles recently which iterated what I was saying before. I think I showed you one or two of them. But you can read those articles on your own. Just do a search. People who were impoverished before were making so much money from crypto that they were buying houses and sending their children to college, buying their children vehicles with that crypto money. So someone from a certain political entity that claims to represent people that are impoverished should not be going against the very same thing that is helping people that are impoverished do a myriad of brilliant things, correct? I'm trying to be careful with the way I word this, right? So let's just go here. It says, Senator Warren attempts to stop banks engaging with crypto. And who do you think that's going to harm? Who does Senator Warren represent? This is why this makes no sense. And it's like, are her people going to hold her accountable for this? This is insane. It says anti-crypto Senator Elizabeth Warren is currently whipping up support among senatorial colleagues to sign a letter to the OCC asking for banks to have a far tighter regulatory regime around their dealings with crypto companies. Senator Warren's stance. Senator Warren is well known for her vehement dislike of the cryptocurrency industry. I wonder why. I wonder why. You dislike something that was helping the people you claim to represent. Interesting. That's very interesting. I wonder who is, hey, take a little here, take a little there under the table, boom. I do for you, you do for me. I wonder who is, She has often called for more protections for investors. My goodness, this is, sometimes it just makes my head hurt. It really does. It's unbelievable. You're calling for more protections, and yet the SEC is there. Before, didn't you try to kick the ball to them? And what did they do? They didn't listen to you. And what did you do about it? You didn't do anything about it. Why? Then the SEC kicked the ball back to you recently. Back to Congress and the Senate. They don't really care who they kick the ball to. Truth be told, you're all in the same circles anyway. It says she's called for more protections for investors and also for the banking system, which she believes could suffer contagion from potential crypto collapse. How? The banking system itself has been hemorrhaging money, has been getting people's identity stolen. They've been locking, I read those articles and so did my subscribers. They've been locking people out of their accounts for no reason at all. Not even clarifying why they're locking people out of their accounts. They're abusing their control. They lend out everybody's money. While they're making a great return on investment, you barely make anything. And as a matter of fact, when you put your money into a savings account, you're allowing your fiat to die as it's being rapidly devalued or is being held in that particular savings account while there's all this chaos in the world that can cause the fluctuation in the prices of the fiat currency. So you're letting your money die with the banks, but you don't ask them to be accountable for any of that type of stuff. Then on top of that, the liquidity crisis. Not only that, if you're talking about the central banks, let's talk about the central banks, which we're going to take a lot of money from, by the way. They're the ones who enacted the policies to print money that cause inflation. Not only that, as I said before, they're putting a bullet on a Band-Aid. I mean, a Band-Aid on a bullet wound. Sorry about that. But that's kind of interesting. A bullet on a Band-Aid, right? Anyway, I said that they were putting a Band-Aid on a bullet wound because what they're doing now with raising interest rates, what's the point of it if they're just going to print money later? And I said that they were going to have to. Guess what they're doing now? Now they're trying to pass a bill, right, where they're going to be stimulating the economy again in a different way. And it means what? Let's boil it down to its essence. They're going to turn the money printer back on. So how that's going to lend to more inflation later on. I said this. There's something mentally wrong with the individuals in charge. It has to be. If printing an excess amount of money aided in inflation before, why would you think there would be a different result now if you're doing the exact same thing? And they're doing it. They're trying to pass this bill or legislation, whatever it is, for more alleged stimulation, and it's going to lead to more inflation later on. Like, what is the plan? But you don't hold them accountable. That's what I'm saying. This is ridiculous. Listen, I'm just gonna get over this article. Listen, this week we're gonna make some phone calls and things like that to senators' offices and Congress, and we're going to do a lot of different things to make our weight felt, and I hope that I'm not alone in that. But if I am, then I'm going to fight alone. As simple as that. There's no way I'm allowing these things to happen without making my voice heard and letting them know what I feel. I'm trying to say this in the most humble way possible without sounding arrogant, but I'm going to fight. Simple as that. Let's move on to the next article. My goodness, this is just unbelievable what's happening in the world. This is why a lot of people believe that they're crashing economies on purpose, because of such ignorance and arrogance. So now, This is another article. This is on U.Today, and it goes as such. Legendary investor Jim Rogers on crypto. Quote, "It's going to be government money." Haven't I been saying this for the longest time? I told you, I was saying this all last year, that I believe the governments are going to buy everything up in sight, that I believe that the governments are going to take over. And a lot of individuals see the writing on the wall. They can see the central banks examining crypto so closely and trying to find a way to control DeFi and just control DLT outright. They're going to take it over. And there's going to be a lot of money for the people that are holding the coins that will be compliant and will be the last coins standing, the bank coins. Everything else is going to be eradicated, or most of crypto will be eradicated. Let me say that. I mean, if things change, we will adjust accordingly, of course. Let's read this little tidbit here. It says, in his most recent interview with Michelle Jamrisko, Bloomberg senior Asia economy reporter Jim Rogers described his own reasons why he is not willing to invest in cryptocurrency and digital assets despite the increased level of adoption among retail investors. That's interesting, because you still hold fiat. You do know what's happening with the BRICS nations, right? You do know that they're going to be backing their world reserve currency with gold or other minerals, right? That is going to be devastating to the euro and the dollar. You do understand that most of the stuff that the US dollar or the US economy obtains is from those BRICS nations like China as such, right? You do understand that. So in every possible way, holding your fiat is at the least, I'm going to say 25 times more risky going into the future. I'm not saying right now, going into the future than cryptocurrency is. That's how risky it is. Now, maybe things change. Maybe it's not that devastating. I mean, there's a myriad of different variables we have to take into account. But at this particular time, and with the United States in particular being so combative with other nations that are in the BRICS nations, Russia, Saudi Arabia, what else? China, right? And so some people might say Saudi Arabia, yes, because Saudi Arabia makes a lot of its money from oil. And of course, the United States is one of the members of the West that is pushing a non-oil agenda. That hurts Saudi Arabian money. And I don't know how many people want to go from being extremely wealthy to broke, but they don't want to do that. So of course, they're going to be a little bit upset about that. Then also this conflict recently with China, right? Which was questionable. My goodness. So circling back around, that all affects that fiat that you believe so much in. Not to mention that your banks are weak. You had so many banks closed this year around the world, not just in the United States. So many banks hemorrhaging money. So many banks with questionable activities. People's money just disappearing. You don't see a problem with that, sir? But I understand. There's so many people, their minds have been polarized with the legacy system. All they do is watch legacy news and, they don't really read. They're told what to think and what to feel. So I understand in that particular way, but I wish that it was different. It says co-founder of Soros Fund Management stated that he believes cryptocurrencies are going to become the government's money at some point. They will. Not all crypto. Privacy coins will not. And that's another thing. A lot of individuals are not educated on the vast amount of different types of cryptocurrencies. Privacy coins, people are not talking about almost anywhere. And you cannot conscript privacy coins and you cannot take them over. I mean, like I said, if something changes, then we'll adjust our thinking. But as of now, that has not occurred, right? They're encrypted. You can't see what people are doing. It's completely private. So you have that, and that's only going to increase. And when the crypto apocalypse takes place, it is my belief that privacy coins will explode in amount and in price as well because of those particular things. But yes, of the cryptocurrencies that are left standing and compliant once the crypto apocalypse takes place, yes, the government will try to control as much as they can. That's just the way that it always goes. Look at the internet. The internet, same thing happened with the internet. Right now, you have the most sanitized version of the internet. This is not the real internet. This is the internet that they provide you. Some people may, listen and hear that and say, "What do you mean it's not the real internet?" It is no. Most of the internet you don't get access to. And that's why they call it the dark web. They don't call it the dark web just because it's bad. The bad part is the deep web. They call it the deep web. The dark web is, I think, the entirety of the thing, right? You don't get access to so many websites. They only allow you to access what they want you to access. That's it. Things that they can control, this tiny sliver of internet. That it wasn't like that before. Now it is. The governments take it over. They enact regulations. And so then they take away your ability to do whatever it is that you might please to do, right? You know, it doesn't have to be bad. You can't think with a pessimist mind state. Some people may just use it in a positive way, like they do the internet right now. So the same thing will happen with cryptocurrencies, right? They will leave a tiny little sliver left, and that will become the norm, the only thing that people know. And there will be a large body of crypto that's just sort of the dark web of crypto. That's how it will be, right? So I'm not going to keep you here too long. I had another article here, but we'll get to it tomorrow. Thank you, everybody, for being here and listening to me. And what's your top 3 foods? And do you think that the new Robocop is better than the old Robocop? I just didn't think so. I didn't think the story was better. I really didn't. I thought the story in the original was better. The characters were better. I like the outlandish action also. It's an action movie. Too many people want things, in my opinion, that are so serious these days. But when I personally go to see a movie that's filled with action, I'm there to escape reality, right? I want you to take me into your world as an artist. And so that's what I'm looking for. And I like the original Robocop for that reason. You know, another movie that I saw when I was a child that they could not remake today because it just doesn't seem people have that imagination anymore. And just my humble opinion, they couldn't remake Never Ending Story, but that's for another video. So, let's not get onto the Predators. Let's just leave that alone. You almost made it go there to the Predators, which, by the way, you want to say what are the best Predators of all time movies? Predator 2 that's my number 1 forever, and then Predator 1. Everything else, I don't have a care for. So until next time, let's wait. I'm messing up my own outro. Hold on a second there. So now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. So until next time, let's get to the money.